As I'd expected, the base iPhone 17's already turning out to be a winner. Over in China on the popular shopping site JD.com, the standard 17 with 256 gigs of storage actually received the most amount of pre-orders out of all new iPhone models when sales opened. Now it's worth pointing out that Apple's delayed pre-orders of the ultra-thin iPhone Air in China due to eSIM regulatory approval, which may have skewed things slightly. However, considering the fact you can still order an iPhone Air for launch day delivery in many countries, shows that the demand isn't too high for that phone. And ultimately, the fact the base iPhone outpaced the Pro models in China shows there's something compelling about it. Even here in the UK where I'm based, I've noticed shipping times slip for the base iPhone 17, and that's unusual. Now the Pro Max has the most delays, but that's to be expected. People who are pre-ordering right now are nerds who want the best iPhone possible. However, in previous years, the base iPhone would never sell out for launch day delivery, so that is a sign that demand, even in Western countries, is higher than usual. And well, it just echoes what I thought after watching the event. I genuinely feel like Apple's nailed the base iPhone this year and it finally feels complete. While I know the spotlight's going to be on the Air and Pro because of the new design, this boring iPhone might actually be the winner. Let me explain why. Let's start with the design. If you're coming from the iPhone 16, the 17 is going to feel very familiar. Apple hasn't radically redesigned the standard model this year, and for most people that's a good thing. The body still has those slightly rounded aluminium rails and a flush matte back, giving a seamless premium feel, but there are a few refinements. The display has grown slightly to 6.3 inches, up from 6.1 inches on the 16, making it closer in size to the 17 Pro. That extra screen real estate is subtle but will be noticeable in regular usage, whether you're browsing the web, scrolling social media, or watching videos. It feels just right, big enough to enjoy media but not so large it becomes unwieldy. The bezels on the 17 have also been slimmed down. While this might sound minor, it actually makes the display feel more immersive and brings the standard model close in appearance to the Air and Pro models. For anyone who felt that the standard iPhones always looked a little dated compared to the Pro phones, this is a welcome improvement. It's a kind of subtle polish that elevates the phone without changing the familiar feel of the device. Colors are also strong this year as well. One of the biggest upgrades with the iPhone 17 is the display itself. For the first time, the standard model gets 120Hz. This is a really big deal. Now, I'm not personally a 120Hz snob and was actually fine with the display on the iPhone 16, but let's be honest, every high-end phone now has a high refresh rate, so it's about time Apple includes it. Scrolling is smoother, animations feel more fluid, and everyday interactions are just more responsive. Things like swiping through photos, scrolling through apps, and even typing feels faster, more natural. It's a kind of subtle change that you might not notice at first, but after a few hours of usage, it does feel the display has been transformed. What this means in practical terms is that the 17 finally completes the standard model experience. In the past, owning a standard iPhone always came with a slight sense that you were getting an inferior experience compared to the Pros. Sure, you could take great photos and use all the same applications, but things like refresh rate and display responsiveness were always better on the higher end models. With 120Hz on the 17, that distinction largely disappears for the average user. The standard iPhone now feels fully capable and you're not missing out on anything crucial day to day. And the icing on the cake has to be 3000 nits of brightness, which is an improvement over the 16 and 16 Pro. The cameras on the 17 largely remain the same as the iPhone 16. You get the 48MP wide and ultra-wide lenses, which already produce excellent shots. Apple's also upgraded the front-facing camera to 18 megapixels, and it's a square sensor now, which means you can take landscape selfies in portrait. That's a meaningful upgrade for selfies, video calls, or anyone who likes to crop their shots more aggressively without losing detail. Video features like cinematic modes, Dolby Vision, action mode, and spatial video are all still included, so from a multimedia perspective, this phone has everything most users will ever need. Before I continue, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. It's free, ensures you get the latest Apple news, reviews, and in-depth analysis straight to subscription feeds. Trust me, you don't want to miss coverage like this when new devices launch, and we're trying to hit 20,000 subscribers, so every sub counts. Now it's worth mentioning that while the 17 Pros have a new telephoto lens, this is a feature that appeals to a very niche user base. Most don't even use a telephoto lens regularly, and Apple has smartly made it so that the standard 17 still offers an excellent photography experience without it. For the vast majority of consumers, the 17 camera setup is more than enough. You can shoot wide, ultra-wide, and even get decent zoom results from the main sensors 2x crop. Realistically, this telephoto lens is a feature that photographers and enthusiasts are going to love, but for everyday users, it's hardly a necessity. Performance-wise, the 17 is powered by the A19 chipset, Built on an updated 3nm process, compared to the iPhone 18 and the iPhone 16, this provides modest gains when it comes to speed and efficiency. For most people, that means the phone's going to stay fast and responsive, whether you're gaming, editing photos, or just multitasking between applications. Combined with the updated chip and improved thermals, the 17 is going to be one of the most capable standard iPhones Apple's ever released. Battery life should remain excellent. The 17 packs a larger battery, which when combined with the efficiency gains of the A19 and Wi-Fi 7 support, should give you more than enough endurance for a full day of usage. On the iPhone 16, I was consistently getting around 8 hours of screen on time, and the 17 should exceed that in regular usage. For anyone who's been frustrated in the past by having to constantly top up your phone, this is a welcome reassurance. Connectivity has also been improved with Apple's new custom Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chipset. Wi-Fi 7 supports here, promising faster, more reliable wireless connections and better efficiency that should translate into improved battery life over time. 5G is still handled via Qualcomm modems, which are tried and tested at this point, so you're not sacrificing anything in terms of speed or coverage. Wireless charging is now supported up to 25 watts on compatible third-party Qi 2.2 chargers, which is a small but meaningful improvement for those who rely on wireless top-ups throughout the day. So who is the iPhone 17 really for? Honestly, it's for almost everyone. Even if you own the iPhone 14 or 15, the jump to the 17 is going to feel fresh thanks to slightly larger and smoother display, upgraded front camera, improved battery life, and the refinements to the design. And even iPhone 16 users might be tempted. While you don't get the telephoto lens from the Pro or the ultra slim design of the Air model, for the majority of consumers, the 17 now offers everything you need in a modern iPhone. It's essentially the de facto choice. The base model no longer feels like a compromise, it's a fully capable device that covers all the essential aspects of what makes an iPhone great. I can honestly say this is the first standard iPhone I'm actually considering myself in years. It's not flashy, it doesn't have the extra bells and whistles of the Pro phones, and that's exactly why it works. It does everything most people need. Excellent cameras, smooth and responsive display, strong battery life, reliable connectivity, and top-tier performance. For anyone who just wants a dependable, well-rounded iPhone without having to go for the Pro, the 17 is the phone to get. And yes, I know the Pro phones have their perks, the telephoto lens, some design tweaks, slightly better GPU performance, but for most users those are nice to have features rather than essentials. The vast majority of iPhone users will be perfectly happy, if not delighted, with the standard 17. Apple's finally made the base model feel complete, and that is a huge achievement in itself. And at the price Apple's offering the base 17, which is $799, the same as the iPhone 16, but with double the storage, it really makes the 17 an unbeatable deal. You're getting a phone that can comfortably handle everything most people ask from an iPhone today, and it'll definitely be supported for 5 to 6 years, so you're getting your money's worth with this purchase. It's also worth noting just how popular the iPhone 16 was. According to Counterpoint Research, the 16 was the world's best-selling smartphone for Q1 2025, beating out both the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max. It was a bit of a surprise given the Pro models have more cameras and premium materials and usually are the better sellers, but it shows that nowadays, most just value a balanced experience over bells and whistles. Clearly, most users don't feel the need to pay the extra for those features, which made the 16 the default choice for the majority of consumers. Given that history, it's easy to expect the 17 is going to follow in its footsteps, and likely is going to become this year's best-selling model as well. Apple's refined the base model experience in ways that appeal to almost everyone, and that's exactly the sweet spot for mass market success. So in conclusion, the 17 is a device I can wholeheartedly recommend. It's not revolutionary, but it doesn't need to be. Apple's refined the experience in all the right ways: smoother display, bigger display, better front camera, excellent battery life, reliable performance, and refined design. For the majority of consumers, it's now the default choice, and one of the most complete iPhones Apple's ever released. It's an iPhone I would happily use myself because it does everything you need from an iPhone without compromise. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys think. Are you planning to upgrade to the iPhone 17, or are you sticking with your current device? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Apple coverage, leaks, and reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.